Okay, third time's the charm. Let's see if this stream dies in the middle of it. Hello? All time travelers? This is the beginning of the stream. I am Tidbit. I play currently Apollo Justice Trilogy every Monday at noon PST. Let's get this show on the road. Good thing I don't have to say what happened last time. I was fully prepared to. But looking over it, the stream, it's just when it's live it has issues. April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session. All rise.
Court is back in session for the trial of Damon Tenma.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prêt. Prêt? Prêt.
As chipper as ever, I see. And in French, no less. And, the prosecution. Oh, you've got me speaking French now. Great.
Ugh, fuck. I forget how I did Blackwell.
Very well, then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today.
You know, I am just gonna quickly pop over. Let's see.
Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear that you've already forgotten that the only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on the scene. So, it's more stern. Great. Very well, then. By the way, I already said all this. I think the age is getting to me. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it.
Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. He probably realized how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game of Simon Says. Yeah, his honor has to fight to defend his honor today.
Your baldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that. Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court, the one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? So you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception just this once.
Here we go again. Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games.
Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that The victim, Alderman Rex QB, was the Amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-murder protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damon Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and the victim.
Huh, I wonder if this line right here is what this section of the case is, which I believe is the last one, because it usually increases, the first case is usually within the court, the second case is usually over the course of 2 days, because it's a simple, twist of the perspective, and the twist was learning what was inside, and then the 2 cases after that are generally 3-day affairs, of where there is the opening that we try and deal with, then there's the middle where there's a lot of shenanigans going on, and then finally we're able to put all the pieces together, because there's just so many twists in the later case. And these ones, it's usually just a 2-day affair, but who knows, this is a sequel. They could do it longer.
The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party. But further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong? Oh no. That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time. One more thing to boast about to my grandchild.
Well, this is not an unexpected turn of events.
Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and tracks? What was left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Huh? Oh, yes, of course, I had suspected as much.
Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? Hey, I did that performance, and that means I'm award-winning in some book. Book of losers. Shut up!
His daughter was the only one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the mayor's maid, Jinxie 10.
Objection!
The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture.
Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that little scamp is the one behind the Tanmataro farce.
Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creep Lowell.
Very well then. Bailiff! Would you bring in the first witness? Hey! Mr. Filch, you made quite a hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today.
Been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. A bit of a trademark of mine.
Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip.
Like those amateurs could ever nab me.
Yipes! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Yipes! No, please! I'm liable to rip out my own head if I start running.
Your statement. No.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir. He may be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give-up-easy type.
Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Gotta do a fancy zoom in to show it's 3D. Tamataro's really that little maid gal. I think you said that wrong. It's on the record as proper. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about her size. But the little runt had a big old staff. I see when she came into the foyer. Bet you she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene.
How do you know the stave is in the chamber?
She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just know it.
I feel like LaBelle has ducted Filch.
So, Tenmataro was short in stature. And that's because Miss Jinxie Tenma, it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along. You betcha. Besides, all the rest in the manor were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short.
What if the Tenmataro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Weren't no knee walking. I see it myself. Then perhaps the yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are not but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. It wasn't a ghost trick. Other game reference, how good of you. Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost. Literally. The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. That and the fact he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that.
That actually sounds like a real ghost to me.
I am from the underworld, do you not remember? The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
The yokai is Jinxie. Tenmataro is really the little maid gal.
No doubt about it.
Mr. Filch, you and Mr. LaBelle mentioned something about a practice yesterday. Do you deny the so-called lesson was about what you were supposed to say in court?
No, you got it all wrong.
Then could you tell the court exactly what sort of lesson it was?
Oh,
Hey,
now I remember, man. You know, numbers and stuff. Please don't kill me.
It's completely under Blackwell's control, too.
Anyway, that Tenmataro was that little maid gal. So what's the difference? I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about his...
Hold it! I take it you got a good look at how tall the Tenmataro impersonator was?
Yeah, you betcha. I got an old habit of sizing people up. I can even give you a primer on how to pull it off. All under the table. Natch. I got a knack for figuring out where people's pockets are and how much money they have. I size them up good before I relieve them.
You just admitted to being a pickpocket right here in court.
Does the witness hold that this Tenmataro entered the foyer. Darn right I do. But the little runt had a big old stave. I saw this came out into the foyer.
Well, you're not gonna brush it all off by claiming the perp was short.
Must have hit a raw nerve, cause you ain't that tall yourself.
Look who's talking! Mr. I've gotta stand at a box just to testify. Fuck you. Anyway, Mr. Filch, correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't you say the Tenmataro you saw had a staff?
Cross my heart but hope to die. I know it cause it went jingle in a jangle.
And where do you suppose that staff came from?
The staff, you say? Well, bet you she stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene.
Hold it! Not even Fulbright has seen that area. How do you know about that? I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Tenma entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one?
Well, I ain't never seen a staff like that in the manor. So it had to be from the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh, really? The stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today. Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. And then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenmataro? I guess that's what Filch is trying to say to us? Could Jinxie have even entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to?
There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place? Yeah, well, I've got my hunches about that. She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just...
Oh, wait. I just realized. Do we have evidence? I feel like this is a good shot. Just like, how could she enter? She didn't have the key.
Objection!
Yeah, I'm smart. It would seem that Tenmataro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl.
The fuck up in with your accent. What? How'd you figure that?
You claim the Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves from the Forbidden Chamber. But it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one.
Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice?
Mm-hmm. The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber.
What's this?
This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So, you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Hey, what? That what? But, then who does the defense believe they're impersonating Tenmataro?
Our Tenmataro impersonator is none other than...
Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he is the yokai we seek?
Yes, in fact, I can.
Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of Tenmataro's impersonator.
It'd be hilarious. I can't select people. we found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know that whoever was Tenmataro took one of the staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for.
But, Mr. Justice, how do you propose the identity of the hand cream's owner?
I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requested fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to.
Interesting. So, you expect to find the yokai's prince there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, your boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day.
You call Prosecutor Blackwell? Aren't you? What? Could anyone be more whipped? What?
Fulbright. Analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes.
Your wish is my command!
Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do the results show? Wait. Aren't we giving this to the defense? The prosecution could easily lie. What in the world? Huh?
They're Florent LaBelle's prints, aren't they?
This is absurd!
Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I?
Don't tell me! They're Ted Mataro's prints! Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to...
I thought I was gonna say the judge with that first long.
Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait! What?! Then Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little Tanuki, explain yourself now!
Sure, the prints are mine! I mean, I did bill for that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all. So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
So why if I did?
Got a problem with it? I thought it was... Though it makes sense, he did say, I'm just like, I stole from the chamber. It was a pretty good lie. Just like, I ain't never seen that around the manor, so it must have been from the chamber.
Hey, bird! You fool of a Tanuki. Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean?
Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean Tenmataro holding that staff was Phineas Filch?
Yikes! Another cat out of the bag! Mr. Filch is Tenmataro!
Look at him, so tiny. I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer?
The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, Your Honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to meet Tenmataro in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh, you mean that event at the Ninetails Vale Festival? So, that was you inside the Tenmataro costume?
Yup. After the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestler being complete jobbers.
So he didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match.
That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And Because of them old superstitions, no matter what I did, the villagers wouldn't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible.
Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Because of the old treasure there. Thought that was my big chance to sneak in and nab it.
Treasure? Treasure?
Only that's the greatest get-rich-quick scheme chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
That doesn't work in your accent.
That did not work in my accent. Why'd you say it like that?
He went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it. Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from grandpappy to grandson. Wait. How exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door.
You could have possibly gotten in. I could through the air vents in the foyer. The vents left the vents left of the old alderman's picture. I went in and made a little nice hole. Use that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did. You what?
But, how is that even possible? Wait a second. Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So, Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent?
So, Tenmataro was nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather, a tanuki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder. Great.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big other yokai. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out that costume real quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point.
And where is that costume now?
Heck if I know. It ain't my fault if you never find it. The police searched every nook and cranny. Even Nook's cranny, proprietor Tanuki of a certain island. No yokai costume was left anywhere.
What if it was tossed outside the Oh.
No, wait, but maybe. The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice.
Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here?
Wow, day 2, no damage. Are you going for a speed run?
Maybe.
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? Cost me a pretty penny. That costume. So why would I go do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons. Maybe because you just saw the alderman dead, and you walked through blood. Any bright ideas, Mr. Sun? I mean, Apollo? Same thing. Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, which I'm not, I'm Apollo, these are my games, I might just have to think to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you.
You do? What kind of voice was that, smartass?
This evidence proves you got rid of your Tenma Taro costume through the window.
Take that!
Hey, that's Tenma Taro flying through the sky. And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? Wait a minute.
It's quite simple.
No, I think I got it.
Yeah?
He tied it to a zip line and strung it to go to the other side of the embassy.
No. What embassy?
I'm sorry, it must have been a nightmare. Go on. What did you have?
That's not Tenma Taro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
Hey, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious. Are ya?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenma Taro was really a flight of fancy.
What? Yikes! Oh, no.
Blackwell's just been over there hunched.
I think I'm having an asthma attack. Just ignore him. He's a criminal. He's going to die eventually. Oh my! So there really never was a yokai. Oh, I can't keep them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting.
Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Fulbrights, I need my inhaler.
All right, here you go.
Why do you think I have such a deep voice? It's broken lung. I'm allergic to feathers. None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy tanuki after I've dealt with this case. Oh no!
We did it. Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Objection! Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not?
Huh?
Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the forbidden chamber?
Probably the same way he got in, through the chamber's air vent.
And what of the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
He couldn't get back up. But the forbidden chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense, right? Oh, wait. That's what Florent LaBelle was talking about, of just like, oh, time for Tenma Taro to escape, and yay! Freedom!
Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right? Yup, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it!
Hold it! Sprung right open? Who was on the other side?
Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare. Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark.
That's hilarious. Just, oh man, that movie was really great.
My eyes! Oh, yeah, Mr. Phoenix, right. I am so sorry about that. It's okay. I don't need to see evidence anymore. These aren't my games. Didn't you do the first case? That hasn't happened yet. Oh gosh, that hasn't happened yet. Oh no. Oh, I gotta see evidence later. Fuck. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid girl spotted me as I was hightailed it down the hall.
That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't open until after the crime scene was discovered. But wait, we still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Objection. Well, you little tanuki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there? Nope. The only one there was the alderman, and he was dead as a doornail. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to?
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going.
Don't tell me! Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was the accused Damon Tenma.
Hold it!
Wait a second! There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there.
Really? And who might that be?
Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
It seems a feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence.
I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details.
Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Sorry. I guess I put my foot in my mouth again. Yeah.
No, Athena. Bad, Athena. No, bad. We're definitely onto something here.
We are? You have a foot fetish?
No. No one doing any of these voices have
A foot fetish. Their roommate does. Oh, great. Think about it. If Filch was struck inside the Forbidden Chamber, was stuck, one of the alibis we heard no longer holds any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber. And by virtue of knowing this, was an alibi that no longer adds up.
Not that insufferable. Very well, the court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up?
Phoenix Wright!
He had an alibi?
Yeah, he said he was going to be at the first case. That hasn't happened yet.
You're right.
Take that!
Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime?
True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer, too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Mr. Liddell at the time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here either. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button up his lips about me breaking into the Forbidden Chamber. And in return, he said he'd vouch. And in return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch! Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Why, shucks. Mercy, your honorships, mercy! Hey!
I also assert that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication.
I see. We will take a 20-minute recess. After which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself.
Yes! Finally getting to drag that slippery snake onto the stand.
I am very tired. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations.
Speaking of very tired, all of yesterday, were just walking and walking and walking, and the day before that, I was walking and walking for the Point Defiance flower garden thing. And yesterday, I also, because it was a Transformers haul, I learned never, ever buy Transformers from Fred Meyer. Dear Lord, there is a considerable increase of price. Because they were selling Boulder Crash, little tiny rock motorbike, Rock Lord series and such. They were selling that tiny little guy. He becomes a sword for other figures. Tiny. $16. And they were selling Skullgrin, he's around a $20 figure. Not at Fred Meyer. That's $32. And don't even get me started on Studio Series Ratchet of 86. He was $45. It was insane. Just the markup. Everything was so expensive at Fred Meyer that I just didn't get anything there. Otherwise, I'd have Skullgrin, but I do not. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into courts! Yay. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell is bound to mount a counterattack. You really are a worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch had to be Florent LaBelle. I saw the intro. I know, everyone saw the intro. Even the bailiff did, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it. At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next. So, chin up, Apollo. April 19th, 11 a.m., District Court. Courtroom number 4. Oh my gosh, he looks like the Joker.
Court is back in session. Our next witness is, the Clown Prince of Crime.
Okay, a French accent. Yes, I'm acting on behalf of the mayor in this very important matter.
It seems the witness is, predisposed at the moment.
Surely you jest. I will hold you on to your promise. Remember that, French? Oh no, I'm going to be doing so many accents. It might slip into German a few times. Oh my... French. My deepest apologies. This is Florent LaBelle, personal aide to Mayor Tenma? Or should I say, the accused? Ouch! Like the poor mayor hasn't suffered enough. He's getting called the accused by Joker. Well, what business do you have with me? I'm a very busy man, so let's make this as brief as possible.
Your boldness. Right. Mr. Filch's testimony has revealed a hole in your alibi. And for this reason, you are suspected of having some sort of connection with the case at hand.
To think I'd be associated with this entirely lurid affair. Well, I'm not, so Mayor Gona has very important matters to attend.
Objection!
I don't think so, Mr. LaBelle. Do you realize what a serious crime you've committed?
Witness, you are being accused of perjury. This is your chance to clear the air.
Fine. The truth is I faked my alibi for a very good reason. And I can definitely clear the air. I have perfume. Do you mean perfume? Yes. The mayor was obviously the killer, so I created a fake alibi to confuse the matter. You see, as his personal aide, I felt I had to protect him. Sorry. You think this is funny? They know exactly what they did. Without your alibi, you're a suspect too. What were you really doing at the time of the crime?
Piff peasant. You dare it.
Objection!
Fucked it up a tiny bit. Okay. Piff peasant. You dare... how dare you accuse more of the one of the beautiful people of being... Objection! Stop stalling and tell the court what you were really doing at the time of the crime.
Silence!
Ooh. Ooh, it doesn't work on her.
Ugh. Enough jabbering. Swords have been drawn. The time for talk is past.
Swords? What swords?
This is a duel to the death. The fate of the accused rests in our hands. Begone, ye of cowardly heart! The battlefield hath no place for ye!
Again? Oh my.
Spare me, please!
So much for sturdier shackles. Yuck!
Those chains hint at my vow that heads would roll this day.
This... Did he get, like, cut right here? Or is that just his arm clipping into him? This gives
Keep your head on in court.
a whole new meaning!
Will the witness please deliver the accused death knell? You know of what I speak.
Most certainly. His goose is already cooked. Time to stick a fork in him. Whatever he has to say can't be good. As I told Prosecutor Blackwell during the recess, I rushed right over to the Fox chamber when I heard Jinx's little scream. What? Then, drumroll please. I saw Mayor Tenma opening the forbidden chamber's doors. But
There you have it. The mystery man who opened the chamber door, as witnessed by one Phineas Filch. It was the accused. There was never any third party.
Oh, and that's not all. I heard something quite startling there at the scene of the crime. Startling sounds bad. The mayor, who is barely conscious, muttered this. Forgive me, Jinxie. I killed the alderman. That's right, the mayor actually confessed to the murder right then and there. I like it when both of them show up and are like, eh.
He confessed?
I'm the Joker, baby.
Order in the court! This is quite conclusive testimony if it stands. Just so. And quite astonishing, I might add. I only learned of this fact during the recess. I just love surprises, don't you? That's why I saved the best for last. Consider it a gift from moi to you.
No way. I don't believe Mr. LaBelle heard the mayor confess.
But is this really true? Did Mayor Tenma really confess? It is indeed. During that last recess, I confirmed it with the mayor's daughter. It would seem Mayor Tenma actually did confess. That testimony is quite favorable to the prosecutions. Oh, so, this is LaBelle. Yes, I called earlier about the party reservations. That's right, and I'll be calling my little shindig Mayor Tenma's Conviction Gala. A splendid time is guaranteed for all but the mayor and his defense. Well, as it seems, our witness is a very busy man. Let's get right to his testimony. Mr. LaBelle, please tell us what you saw when you came upon the scene of the crime.
Oh, look at me in my purple suit.
I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession. Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever noticing me. Oh, she went for the phone, you little liar. Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up and opened the forbidden chamber. As I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison. In shock, I fled down the hallway to my right, to the one with the phone at the end. I must say, this is a shocking revelation. You had all that time to make up an alibi, and you fucked it up. Even I saw it. Quite unexpected. To think the defendant actually confessed then and there to his crime. Perhaps the guilt was too much to bear, so he confided in his daughter. You do realize you should not have withheld such crucial testimony from the court. Once again, sorry. I don't remember the French word for sorry. I knew it one day, and now I do not. And now it is nearly an hour in, and I am getting parched. So, I shall have nice Arizona fruit punch. Oh, canned drinks. What peasant food, but it's a nice delicacy. It's so crisp. It's even more crisp if you go to the Vinco at 5:30 a.m. and get the can. It's so good. It's just, I feared being accused if I mentioned coming upon that most unpleasant scene. Ugh. Why did the mayor's confession have to be brought up by this guy?
We better do something before the judge declares the mayor guilty.
As a death row inmate once told me in years gone by, there is a time to fight and a time to yield, a time to live and a time to die.
Hey, wait a minute. That's lyrics. Hold on. He's not actually from prison. He just has really bad albums.
What? You dare call my music tastes bad?
I mean, you say it was Death Row. That album was dead. You give hints to each album every time you say them.
No.
He's laying it on real thick.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness. I was in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. That's when I heard the confession.
You claim that the mayor confessed to his daughter. Are you sure about that?
Peasant! You wouldn't dare ask such a question if you truly understood it. True beauty is never wrong.
So that means you can be wrong. Cool.
Oh, you little...
It's not?
No, beauty is carved deep in the DNA. In the Dana. That means I'm programmed to always be right even when I'm wrong. You know, pretty privilege.
I'm not following.
These exquisite ears, like flowers abloom. These eyes that shine like pearls. This hair like the finest silk. Nothing can corrupt the truth they hold.
Right?
Yeah?
No, not. Why are you here? Not just rendering in for the next case. The first case? No, for the one after that. You're unconscious. No, I thought I got up and left. I don't remember. It's been so long. I know.
The witness will hurry up and explain this truth of his. Specifically, what did Jinxie Chandler do upon hearing the confession?
Upon learning of her father's crime, little Jinxie fled without ever knowing it.
How did Miss Tenma appear to you?
Oh, the poor little thing seemed positively heartbroken. All teary-eyed and whatnot. I couldn't help but shed a few tears myself after seeing her like that.
He actually sympathized with Jinxie? Why do I have the smiling default? Seems like an overly human emotion for him. Yeah, because it's the only real monster we've seen so far. Looks and character.
The next thing I did was check my face in the mirror.
Checked your face. Why?
To behold the beauty. That is my sadness. Why else?
Apollo, I'm starting to lose all faith in humanity. You went to Reddit? No. I know the feeling. But hang in there. At least keep faith in our client. Apollo, what the hell was that? What? The thing that happened in the middle of your sentence. You know, I'm also drinking an Arizona fruit punch. You what? It's really good. But it causes burps and hiccups a few times. It's not even carbonated. Yeah, it's just the way you drink it.
Alright, let's keep this moving, shall we?
I feel like the game is talking to me and my bits.
So, what happened next? Immediately after that, the mayor came to, stood up, and opened the forbidden chamber.
He opened the forbidden chamber. But why would he do that?
Who knows? Maybe he wanted to free the demon Tenma.
Objection!
The courtroom is no place for fairy tales. Remember, you are under oath.
Hello, Lebel speaking. Yes, I will certainly explore the matter. Toodles!
Now, where were we again? You were going to tell us the real reason why Mayor Tenma opened the forbidden chamber door.
Oh yes, you had to say it all so fast so that when another call would not come in?
Yeah! If you talk fast enough, it destroys radio waves.
Who taught you that?
No one.
Why do you believe that?
I don't.
Oh, you're making a fool of me.
Maybe. More precisely, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, call. Hello, this is Lebel. Good one, sir. You're in absolute riot. Okay, bye.
You were saying?
Never mind. This is a waste of time. He's just gonna go and tell more lies.
The witness will focus on his testimony, not his phone calls.
Please tell me that his breakdown is him ripping off the phones from his clothes.
Now, tell the court what you did after you saw the mayor open the forbidden chamber.
Well, as to that, as I ran in terror, the demon emerged from his prison.
What was Mr. Filch like at the time?
He was shouting,
I can't see! It's the cursed Mataro!
Then he took off riding like a madman.
You did a very good impression of him.
Yes, I have him in a small box in the audience.
He must have been blinded by the sudden light flooding in.
Wrong.
What?
He set eyes upon moi, and he was thus blinded by my radiant beauty.
He said he didn't see anyone. So it was the curse of Florent LaBelle rather than Ten Mataro.
Yes, I'm afraid such beauty can be a curse. It's almost criminal. As opposed to the act that I did, it was actually criminal. And what was that? I murdered a man.
Which man?
The mayor. It's not that of a big deal. Ah!
The only thing criminal here is your careless jabbering.
No, get on with your testimony. Oh, forgive me, your darkness. Let me see. Oh, yes, I fled for my dear life from Ten Mataro. And, in shock, I fled down the hallway to the right to
Hold it! So, after you fled into the hallway with the phone at the end, Ten Mataro ran off towards the foyer.
Precisely.
Notice any inconsistencies, Apollo? Well, Jinxie also saw Ten Mataro, right? She did. She said they passed each other in the hall after she made the call to the police. Well, if LaBelle had fled down the hall where that phone is, Jinxie would have seen him when she was returning from making her call. Oh, right! I wonder if anyone's lying! And if she saw him, she would have definitely asked him for help. Maybe. Just doesn't make any sense. Time to review the evidence. If we don't find some way to poke a hole in his testimony, this is the fail state thing. Mayor Tenma is as good as guilty. This is bad. Very bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is really, really bad. We need to find an inconsistency, a mistake, some kind of conflict. It's all over if we can't find a flaw in the prosecution's case.
No, you'll just be stuck in a time loop. You know, simple procedure. It's not all over. The game is still going. And even if you lose, you learn. From learning. Without ever noticing.
Objection!
Shoop. Consider the evidence. There's obviously something wrong with that statement.
Your guard knows no bounds. It's shocking, really.
What's that supposed to mean?
You stand there brazenly objecting to perfectly factual statements. One does not seek such shameless behavior that often. A penalty for our shameless attorney.
Ah, man.
Objection!
Okay. Florent LaBelle, you're lying about having witnessed these events from the hallway.
What on earth do you mean?
Yes, care to fill the rest of us in, Mr. Justice?
If Mr. LaBelle had really fled down into the hall with the phone in it, he would have crossed paths with Mrs. Tenma. What's this? After she discovered the crime scene, she immediately went to call the police. Then, after making her call, she went back to the main hallway, whereupon she encountered the demon yokai, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's F for Filch now. As for me, I call it Phineas Filch in a Tenma Taro costume. The encounter happened right here, where the hallways meet. As for you, Mr. LaBelle, if you had fled here, feigning escape from the yokai... Yeah, feigning escape from the yokai imposter...
Right, yes, the two would have crossed paths.
Right. Except Miss Tenma told us that there was no one else in the hall. In short, Miss Tenma did not see you in the hall because you were never really there.
What? My eyes, my beautiful eyes!
That's such a fabulous scent now, is it? Joker.
But, Mr. Justice, the witness also stated that he heard the mayor confess. If he was lying about hearing the confession from the hall, then...
Inside the Fox Chamber. Where else?
But isn't that within the very crime scene?
It is, Your Honor. And that means he's not really a witness. Damn it, there's no room layout. All I've got is this to see if someone running out can see behind the picture, and they cannot. And he probably broke a Tanuki statue while Rather, he's the third party I've been alleging this whole time.
What? You think I'm the killer? How dare you?
Silence!
Foolish fop. A true man knows when he is beaten. Also, is it just me? Or does that... Or does Blackwell... Is his voice... Omadon? I forget his name right now. A shield of lies comes to naught before a foe with the sword of truth bared.
But Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you... I thought we were on the same side.
You are mistaken. There are no sides here, save for my cold, steely edge of judgment. You are alone upon this battlefield, with naught but your lies and sickly sweet perfume. Whoa! He said parfum. What just happened? Blackwell's really tearing into him. You heard the mayor's confession from the inside, did you not, you deviant dandy? Ooh, dandy. For the sole location from which you could have seen and heard the mayor and the Tanuki, without either of them noticing you were right there in the Fox Chamber.
Oh my... So that's how it's going to be. Fine, I'll come clean then.
Seriously? You admit to being there in the Fox Chamber?
I do. I did enter the room after the murder, but I was afraid of being falsely accused, so I lied about it. I feel terrible about lying like that, but it's a verbal cologne I use to protect myself.
That's a pathetic metaphor. You'd be better off saying nail polish.
is someone using the nail polish metaphor without me? Shoot it, Gavin. Shoot it. Really? How quaint of you to say shoot it. I never used a gun. You sure? Very. Okay. Yeah, you better explain yourself, Mr. LaBelle.
Yes, of course. I was just getting to that. The witness is skating on thin ice. World's on fire, how about yours? I'll remind you that perjury is a very serious crime. Now, let's hear your testimony again. This time, without your perfume of lies.
In the Fox Chamber.
I did enter the Fox Chamber after the murder. But I didn't enter until after Jinxie had heard the confession and left. I heard the mayor groan and hid behind the folding screens there. What I saw there up close, it was absurdly horrifying. So you see, I was there, but merely watching from behind the screen.
From behind the screen? Why, yes, I believe you wouldn't be spotted if you were there. Just so. You could see everything without being spotted by the victim or that Tanuki filch. Suffice to say, he was a mere witness to the events, rather than an actual third party.
This guy's as slippery as an eel. Apollo! You think he's telling the truth?
What? How do you not know?
Eh?
Well, he was in the Fox Chamber, so at least that much is true.
The defense may cross-examine a slightly voyeuristic witness.
Judge, why are you saying that?
There's children.
I was supposed to say that. Wait, why'd you say it knowing there's children?
I have no rebuttal. Put me in chains.
I did enter the Fox Chamber after the murder. Yep. I didn't after I held the confession. Oh wait, I need to load all of these first, and then I can like go back and forth as I please. It counts as new text this time because it's green.
Hold it!
Yeah, hold it. Why in the world would you enter that grisly crime scene? Why? Because I was worried sick. Mayor Tenma's suit. It what? It was designed personally by me. Really? I can't look closer at it. Oh, wait, I have an image. Huh! Must have a thing for shoulders. I was worried my work of art might get blurred on it. This man clearly has his priorities in order. Okay, let's get this over with, shall we? Now, where was I? Oh, yes, so I entered the first chamber almost without thinking.
Hold it!
Why didn't you enter right away? And ruin my designer shoes? Your shoes? Even now, just thinking about getting blood on my fabulous footwear sends chills down my spine. That's why I hesitate.
Objection!
What the fuck? That's terrible! A man was dying and another injured, and you worried about your shoes?
Silence!
Yeah, that sounds like Edwin Tiong. That's his name.
Need I remind you, this is a court of law. We are not teaching morality here. We have schools of etiquette and the like for such trivial pursuits.
Gah!
Now, you listen to me, you deceptive dandy. Get to the point and be quick about it.
Oh, yes. Well, I was in the fox chamber, but I heard the man groan and hid behind the folding screens there.
Wait a second. Why did you hide yourself?
Oh my, so you do understand.
I do.
By hiding, I was concealing my fabulous beauty, for which the sake of this universe is something I should never ever do. That's what you were thinking?
I'm sensing a black hole of egocentricity forming around the witness stand. Is
No, it is just a garde of war. We can deliberate his mental process another time. Get on with the testimony. No.
Well, regarding the murder scene, what I saw there up close, it was absolutely horrifying.
Could you describe the crime scene in a bit more detail?
And what exactly would you like details about?
Well, what I'd like to ask you about is... Here we are. Could you describe the state of the weapons that had been used at the scene?
The spear had been thrust all the way through Alderman Cubic. Then there was that statue the Alderman used to bludgeon Mayor Tenma. That incredibly inspiring symbol had fallen to the floor.
Oh, right, the statue. But why would he find it inspiring? Why exactly did you find the statue inspiring?
Oh! Well, when I saw that statue, I felt as if the merger had been realized. It was like a celebration of union between town and village, an inspiring symbol of goodwill.
A broken statue next to a bloody corpse. Really inspiring.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you consider this statement to be of any importance?
Is it important? It is most important. Very important. I believe it to be extremely important. A statue had fallen to the floor. It was a token of goodwill celebrating the municipal merger.
Hold it!
Let's see if just pressing the statement will get it. Token of goodwill. Are you referring to the Fox and Demon statue?
Yes, the statue the alderman allegedly used to strike back at Mayor Tenma. The mayor trampled down municipal goodwill only to be clobbered by its symbol. It's quite ironic, don't you think?
And that's when the symbol of goodwill was transformed into a symbol of conflict. Dun, 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 dun.
Objection!
Your lies have finally betrayed you, Mr. LaBelle.
It's not said like that. What possibly could you mean?
French.
You said the statue was like a celebration of union between town and village. That's a better French accent than me. What are you doing?
I don't know. Being better than you in everything? Like animations?
No, yours will be reused and reused.
Isn't that correct?
It is indeed, but what of it? The two yokai are joining hands in goodwill. As if they were celebrating the municipal merger. Hey, that's my thing. Why are you ticking at me? Oh, something's the matter?
So, how did you really know that this statue was meant to be a symbol of goodwill again?
What?
Justice don't know. explain yourself. And make it quick.
This statue was meant to symbolize goodwill in its original form. But that was a secret.
A secret? Whatever do you mean?
I mean that it is broken when someone used it to strike Mayor Tenma on the head. What's left clearly makes it look like the two yokai are battling it out. The statue's secret and its true form were lost inside that locked room. For Miss Tenma is the only living soul who should have known what it once looked like. So, Mr. LaBelle, where could you have possibly seen the statue in its original form?
What do you mean? The only possible answer is this.
You saw the statue in its original form. Right there in the room where the alderman was murdered before it was broken.
How dare you? Mr. Justice, are you accusing the witness of with some sort of crime?
Yes. Yes, I am. Florent LaBelle, I accuse you of the murder of Alderman Rex Q. My eyes! Is your French accent fake? Why? Why do you say that?
Order! Order! Mr. LaBelle, you've been accused of murder by a demon.
Yokai.
Are you? Wouldn't that be an Oni?
Damn, you know that?
You know that? Of course I do. I'm old. Do you have anything to say in your defense?
How could you possibly accuse more the embodiment of beauty? Way to go, Apollo! This is the conclusive evidence we needed. Magnifico! Is that gonna be your shtick now? You're gonna say other languages without the proper accent? Who knows if we'll remember this? We've got you now. We know you killed the Alderman. Now admit it.
Silence.
Yeah, Blackwell is still against losing.
Enough of your silly games, Justice Donner. This prancing peacock could not possibly be the killer.
Objection!
What are you talking about? His alibi has already crumbled to dust. And I just proved that he was in the Fox Chamber while it was still locked tight.
Silence.
Why could he have not seen the statue in its true form before the murder? After all, he was close friends with the alderman. Ergo.
Yes, that's right. I clearly remember it now. Alderman QB told me about it. About the statue, about what the statue actually looked like. I mean, it was a good friend. He was a good friend of mine.
Objection!
Yeah, right. He wouldn't show you a secret gift just like that.
Silence.
Moreover, it has already been proven that he was not present at the scene of the crime.
It has?
Forgetting, have we? Recall the little scamp statement, if you will.
I'm just readjusting my headphones.
When Jinxie Tenma unlocked the Fox Chamber, she saw the alderman and the mayor collapse therein, and no one else.
Oh, dang it.
The fact is that you two who made that apparent in yesterday's session. Thus, Florent LaBelle could not possibly have been in that locked room.
No! I just don't get it. How could Jinxie not have seen LaBelle?
The proof is incontrovertible. Incontrovertible. No room for debates exist. Am I not right, your baldness?
It does seem awfully conclusive. The facts point to the defendant and the victim being the only people in the locked room. Moreover, the defendant has already confessed.
Objection!
Yeah.
Silence!
Wow. Before he could even say anything.
You cannot defend the indefensible. Your role in this charade is over. Justice Dono.
But.
No buts. Your boldness. This trial would last an eternity if we were to keep crossing blades with these simpletons.
It's just a really. C? Yeah, it's C. Perfect. Look at these goobers.
It is high time you brought down the hammer of justice.
A point well made. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damon Turnma. It would seem that my time is at hand.
But Mayor Tenma?
Counselor, there is a matter to which I must testify. Oh boy. There's gonna be a lot of taro in here. So, I'm just drinking a lot to prepare. I recall it now for your good graces.
Yeah, Counselor. Oh, right. He must mean me. He has finally remembered what happened before the blow to his head.
Bailiff! Do not just stand there, seize him!
It's no good. I can't restrain him. Know me and despair. For I am Tenmataro, demon lord of the yokai. I was the one to fuck up the last streams. Mr. Justice, do something.
Am I responsible for court security? Apollo, this is your chance. We might get some new information out of him. Your Honor, seeing as our client has something new to say, I believe due process demands that we have to hear him out, even if he is a yokai.
When you put it that way, still, I believe testimony by a yokai is unpredicted in the legal world.
Unprecedented absurdity, more like.
All right then, Mr. Damon Tenma, or should I say Mr. Tenma Taro, your testimony, please, whoever you are. I shall now speak of recollections, most real, courtesy of my host, Damon Tenma. Heed these words, mortals, for hear them, but once you shall. Ah! That's not how testimony works.
The ruler of demonkind.
Barely conscious was Damon there amid the darkness. Suddenly, two yokai did appear. On one side, I, Tenmataro, ruler of demonkind. And the other, my mortal enemy, the nine-tailed fox.
Huh? Did they have a wrestling match in the room? Oh, no, I think they had a wrestling match in the room. I don't think that's supposed to be said out loud, but because he's been hit in the head, he doesn't realize it's a private thing.
My gods, voyeurism was the right word to say.
So, is the defendant asserting that the room he was in was very dark at the time?
Strange as it may be, yes, indeed, all was in darkness.
And the part about Tenmataro and the nine-tailed fox being there.
Yes, that too, Tenmataro towered overhead, and the nine-tailed fox glittered gold.
Yeah, I call animal abuse, Your Honor.
It would seem that the defendant's recollections are not to be trusted.
Yes, well, truth be told, my host's recollections are still a bit fuzzy. As if half-dreamt, that happening lingers in his mind.
Apollo, maybe I can help here. Really? Oh, you mean the gimmick? The gimmick. We haven't done it all trial except for that first incident. We got to do it each day. Ah, great. Is this how we pay rent? Yeah. Yeah, I can hear it. The discord in his heart.
I think I heard it too.
I sense an unusual emotion in the mayor's memory of the event. Oh yeah, they added events to Discord. Does anyone use those? No. Okay. I just hope our findings don't come back to haunt us again. Boop, boop.
Barely conscious was Damon Tenma there. Amid the darkness, suddenly two yokai did appear. On one side, I Tenmataro, ruler of demon kind.
Oh. It sounds like the mayor saw the same thing as what's shown on the scroll. What's with those Tenmas and their yokai vision? I think it's sweet how father and daughter can share something like that. I don't think a shared nightmare really qualifies as sweet. Anyway, all I need to do is point out an unnatural reaction like last time. Right! Look for places where an emotion conflicts with the testimony. That conflict usually indicates a thought or emotion that has been suppressed.
Got it!
The unexpected emotion is right here. Really? You sure about that? Yeah, can't you see it? Maybe if you look really hard. Just keep staring and maybe Apollo. This isn't a game of where's emo. So, I'm way off. At least make an effort next time. Okay. Let me try that again.
Got it!
The unexpected motion is right here. Fail state.
Got it!
Unexpected motion is right here.
Got it! Got it!
Is it just simply,
Got it!
why are you sad at the start? He's passed out.
Got it!
Are you still sad? But he's sad all the way through.
Got it!
Are you surprised all of a sudden? No. Ah.
Got it! Got it! Got it!
Did I not do happiness? When the nine-tailed fox appeared, you not only experienced shock and sadness, but also something like joy as well. Joy? Perhaps it was joy at the light coming to my eyes at long last. A long and terrible creaking did pierce the silence. And then there was light. On reflection, it was a door that did produce that infernal racket. A creaking door? Oh, you must be talking about the Forbidden Chamber door. It does make a lot of noise. So, this means the Forbidden Chamber really was opened. But what about the sudden light he described? I think I know. He mentioned darkness and Temataro towering overhead. Maybe the mayor wasn't really in the Fox Chamber at the time of the crime. Mr. Mayor, did the darkness that you were in happen to be here? Still haven't had an issue with the pointer.
Take that!
Except for that one time of just like, I legitimately didn't know where to put the pointer. It's just like, hey, here's the map. Select it. It's just like, select what? You didn't lead me up. You didn't slow the ball. You just threw it at me. The Forbidden Chamber? Was it not the Fox Chamber where the murder did occur? Yes, but it all makes sense if you were in the Forbidden Chamber. That terrible creaking sound was probably the Forbidden Chamber's door opening. And the towering Tenmataro you saw? Most likely the Forbidden Chamber's statue. Why, yes, that would explain it. The darkness and the staff in the demon's grasp. Oliver and QB found him there? But even though that's true, then what about the nine-tailed fox? Maybe he was seeing things, just like Jinxie and her imaginary yokai. Fantastico, Apollo! It's entirely possible. In a groggy, dreamlike state, people can misremember things and events. Misremember, you say? Let me think. I do believe I remember now. That was not the nine-tailed fox. It was the Amazing Nine-Tails. What? The Amazing Nine-Tails? At first, this is but a dream, I thought. Now, however, most clearly do I recall it. It was the Amazing Nine-Tails who did open the Forbidden Chamber's door. 60. I'm sorry I asked. The Amazing Nine-Tails? But that was the victim, Alderman QB, right? Yeah, why would he open the Forbidden Chamber? Doesn't he try to keep it sealed? Never mind that. This is completely new information. Let me enter it and run in update. Barely conscious. With Damon in the Forbidden Chamber. Beep, beep, beep.
Jeez.
Temataro looming overhead. Suddenly, the door did open. A shaft of light did pierce the gloom.
I don't know, why are you sad then?
Got it!
When the amazing Ninetales opened the chamber, banishing the darkness within, you felt joy. But didn't you also feel shock and sadness? Oh, you could choose either.
Yes, in the hazy depth of my mind, I do recollect something of that nature. I believe it was the fiend's cape of red. For when I did behold it, a great wave of sadness did inexplicably wash over me.
A cape of red. Apollo, we've reduced the noise level. Oh, but there's still a little left. Mayor Tenma, why were you sad when you saw the red cape?
Why indeed?
What could this mean? I guess his memory is a little spotty. I know, because his latest recollection contradicts the evidence. Yeah, it's one of those contradictions that slaps you right across the face. Something this obvious could arise when someone is trying to force a fuzzy memory into a definitive shape. Apollo, I know what you have to do. You need to present evidence that contradicts the image you see. Oh, so it's basically the same as usual cross-examination. Neat. Cool that this game hasn't lost all its roots. Okay, time to review the evidence. Look out, contradiction.
Here comes justice.
Tenmataro's mood matrix. What a very specific incident.
Objection!
He doesn't use a red cape. You said the amazing Ninetales cape was red. Are you sure about that?
Yes, well, I do believe it was a red cape I saw, but,
Mayor Tenma. Does this cape look red to you?
that certainly does not look red. Not even scarlet or crimson either. Nevertheless, upon my liberation, something red did fill as yet hazy field of view. And I thought to myself, the amazing Ninetales is arrayed in her cape of red.
So you mistook that red something for his cape, huh?
Apparently so, and remembering it now brings a great sadness upon me.
So the red something probably wasn't a cape after all. Maybe that great sadness he mentioned is what's interfering with his memory. Well, he would have seen the fox chamber behind the amazing Ninetales. What red object could he have seen there that would have been that shocking? I know. Could it have been? Mr. Mayor, was the red thing you saw this?
Take that!
Foolish mortal, do you mock me?
Hey, whoa, sorry.
I'm afraid I have no recollection of seeing such an item.
You must cease this practice of leaping before looking.
Sorry. Youch, that was a human/demon double punch. Apollo, think of something that's red and could produce a feeling of sadness. Take a good look at the evidence again. Mr. Mayor.
Take that!
Something red that could produce a deep sadness. Could it be, Mr. Tenma, that what you saw was the alderman's blood?
Blood? Why, yes! It was blood! It's all coming back to me now. It wasn't a red cape that I saw. It was lying behind the amazing Ninetales. The alderman's bloody body. Ah!
This image is confusing. Bye-bye. His noise levels is down to 0. I think he's remembered everything now.
My friend! Ah!
He's fine. Does this mean the amazing Ninetales killed Alderman QB? The Alderman was the amazing Ninetales. So how exactly would that work? Hey, I asked you first. No. Uh-huh. Nuh-uh. Yeah-huh. Nuh-uh.
Shut it! Well, Mr. Justice, you sure know how to make a complicated matter even more complicated. Stop that.
True. But at the time of the crime, our client was in the Forbidden Chamber. Moreover...
Silence!
That is my word. I only let the judge use it because haha funny. Oi! Don't you think this is strange? The little scamp has already confirmed her father to be in the Fox Chamber. But she said not about seeing the amazing Ninetales there.
Yeah. You just had to bring it up, didn't you? Jinxie didn't see LaBelle there either. She did see a yokai. So, it's so weird. Who really was in that room then?
Would the defense care to share any theories with the court? Can you explain the inconsistency between the defendant's testimony and the daughter?
Yeah, we're a crack Ace Attorney team. We can always explain it. Yes, of course I can explain it. Because if I don't, I'm in serious trouble.
Not with more of your bluffs and fairy tales, I trust. Fair warning, Justice Dono. I shall have your head if you fail to explain this.
Eep! What about a good old-fashioned penalty?
Nope, I will bludgeon you with this gavel. Well, Mr. Justice, let's see if you have a head worth keeping on your shoulders.
First of all, Mr. LaBelle was definitely in the Fox Chamber while it was locked. We also know that Mayor Tenma was in the Forbidden Chamber based on his testimony. These two facts are crucial to my explanation. So let us consider the following question. If the facts point to Florent LaBelle and the victim being there at the scene, why did Jinxie Tenma see the victim and her father, Mayor Tenma?
A very good question indeed. And I suppose you have an answer for us?
Sadly, you would be supposing wrong. You think she could have mistaken LaBelle for the mayor? Well, if she did, then the question is, why did she do that?
Well, how about that explanation, Mr. Justice? I believe the time for questioning is over. The defense asserts that Florent LaBelle was at the scene of the crime. However, Jinxie Tenma has testified that she saw her father collapse there. If she has, in fact, misremembered the events, what could have made her do so?
The figure Miss Tenma saw was not her father. It was Florent LaBelle disguised as Damon Tenma.
Silence!
That is a complete impossibility. Their faces are utterly unalike. What could you explain? How could you explain that away with a mere disguise? Yes, they both do have incredibly distinctive faces.
Maybe this disguise completely hid his face? I think Jinxie would have mentioned if she couldn't see her father's face.
And if it was that sort of disguise, wouldn't she have removed it?
Ah, right. It's not like he's a master of fucking cosmetology.
Your sword is as dull as your mind, Justice Dono. Shall I show you what a truly sharp blade is capable of?
I think I'll... Aig! Ah! Did they kill Justice? Are you okay, Apollo? I'm not fine, am I?
Well, now that we have that little fairy tale out of the way, your boldness, your verdict, if you will. Mr. Justice, I believe it's time for a verdict, if you have no further arguments.
What's even left for me to do? Apollo, remember what Mr. Wright always says? When you're stuck in a tight spot, turn the case upside down. Turn the case upside down? He does say that, doesn't he? But I don't quite see how it applies here. Still, it never hurts to give it a try, I guess. Let's see. Is Phoenix gonna waltz in right now? Other than Jinxie didn't remove the disguise, maybe she couldn't remove it? Rather than she didn't tell anyone about the disguise. Maybe it was she couldn't talk about it. You can't talk about Tenmataro. A wrestler's mask is more precious than his own life. He'd never unmask himself in front of others. There are matches where wrestlers battle for the right to remove each other's masks. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. And what about the fact that it was the Amazing Ninetales who opened the door? A mask that can't be removed in front of others. Can these facts turn things around? We got it all backwards. Apollo? I think we might have made a huge mistake.
Your boldness. I see no need to further indulge them in their silly little farce. The defense has no proof. They never did and never will. Then it seems I must announce my... Thank you.
I do have proof!
Do you now? All right. Well, this better be good, Mr. Justice.
We can solve the remaining riddles by turning all of our assumptions upside down. Why Jinxie Tenma mistook Mr. LaBelle for her father. Why she couldn't remove the costume or tell anyone about it in the first place. These riddles are inextricably linked to Mayor Tenma's secret identity. A shocking secret identity that will turn the entire premise of this case upside down. That is kind of funny. Alderman QB wearing all orange, and he has the chamber to Tenmataro, and he's the guy who dresses up as Tenmataro. This piece of evidence clearly reveals Mayor Tenma's secret identity.
What absolute claptrap! Poppycock! Balderdash!
We thought the alderman was the amazing Ninetales, and the mayor was Tenmataro. That's why we believe the mayor killed the alderman in his lust for Ninetales Vale. And it was the basis for the prosecution's entire case against our client. However, we got the whole thing backwards. Mayor Tenmo wasn't Tenmataro at all. He was the amazing Ninetales.
What? Huh? What's this?
Why didn't you tell me? I thought you could hear my thoughts. I can't!
You best explain yourself, Justice Turner. And from where you derive such a far-fetched conclusion.
Jinxie, no doubt, knew the true identity of the amazing Ninetales. But she couldn't tell anyone no matter what. That's why she didn't say it was the amazing Ninetales she saw passed out. Even though, unbeknownst to her, it really was Florent LaBelle in disguise.
Silence!
The accused and the deceitful dandy are utterly dissimilar in physical build and voice. The little scamp would have seen through the deeds.
Objection!
Remember, Mr. LaBelle has his very own brand of cosmetics. Why couldn't he fake a different build, too? And anyone speaking through a mask would naturally sound different.
Silence!
Why did she not simply pull off the mask?
Objection!
A masked wrestler's disguise is more precious than life itself. As a huge fan of the Amazing Ninetales, she would never dare unmasking him. This case of mistaken identity also explains the riddle of the locked room.
Then by all means, Mr. Justice, answer it for us already.
First, Mr. LaBelle entered the room where the mayor and the alderman were talking. I suspect he brought with him coffee laced with some sort of sedative. Once the alderman was out cold, that's when Mr. LaBelle killed him. Next, he took the mayor, who he had also drugged, into the Forbidden Chamber. Then he returned to the Fox Chamber, slipped into some of the mayor's spare clothes, and completed the disguise by donning the amazing Ninetales mask. With his entire charade in place, Mr. LaBelle then let out a scream. The scream that led Jinxie Tenma to the scene. Ah, so then the person who said, "I killed Alderman Kibi" was...
Wait, was there always a French accent there?
I mean, yeah.
But how would not know this?
Yup, that was Florent LaBelle in disguise. The mayor never actually confessed.
Silence!
This is no more than guesswork and speculation. Now stop your jabbering.
Objection!
No, you twisted samurai.
Samurai.
This time, you stop your jabbering and let me finish my case. Once Miss Tenma left the scene, Mr. LaBelle, still wearing the mayor's clothes and mask, opened the Forbidden Chamber. So he could drag the mayor back out into the Fox Chamber. Oh, so the amazing Ninetales the mayor saw was right. It was LaBelle opening the Forbidden Chamber. The second time Mr. LaBelle opened the door to the Forbidden Chamber, he happened to catch the thieving Mr. Filch by surprise. Startled, Mr. Filch, in his Tenma Taro disguise, ran as fast as he could away from the room. As he did, he left behind a trail of feathers and tracks, and gave Miss Tenma the scare of her life in the hallway. With no one left to witness the events that had occurred, Mr. LaBelle then proceeded to drag the sleeping mayor back into the fox chamber.
I see. Well, that all certainly does make sense.
Then after dragging the mayor back into the fox chamber, Mr. LaBelle threw the mask out the window and fled the room.
Silence!
For this absurd theory to work, it requires that the defendant to be the Amazing Ninetales. However, he was the one pushing for the municipal merger. That such an individual could possibly be the Amazing Ninetales is preposterous.
Objection!
The mayor was blackmailed into pursuing the merger. Miss Tenma's life would have been in danger if he had openly voiced his opposition. That's why he created a secret identity as the Amazing Ninetales.
What? This is madness! No one could possibly hatch such an insane plot.
No one except a killer as insane as his plot. And I'd say Florent LaBelle more than qualifies.
Foolish mortals! It is at your own peril that you forget who I am!
Mayor Tenma! It's okay now. Jinxie will be safe as soon as Mr. LaBelle is arrested. You are the Amazing Ninetales, aren't you?
Aye.
Yeah, that wasn't me. You have quite the active imagination. Mayor Tenma is not the Amazing Ninetales.
Objection!
What do you mean? Well, has the mayor admitted to it yet? You stopped him! But that's just...
And even if he did admit to such nonsense,
I would reveal the truth behind Tenma Taro right here and now. What?
why you dare reveal the secret?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. My good friend the alderman told me all about it. But it wouldn't be good to expose the truth. What with superstition, now would it? The truth behind Tenma Taro. What's he talking about? So, go ahead. Say it. Say, I am the Amazing Ninetales. I dare you.
Objection!
Wait! Will somebody please explain what's going on here? Mayor Tenma will do anything to keep the truth behind Tenma Taro a secret. A dark, terrible truth that has been kept secret by the village superstitions. And if the mayor admits to being the Amazing Ninetales, you'll expose the truth. Right! I won't have him walking free because of some nonsense you made up.
So what now, Justice Dono? Without the mayor's admission, your theory is useless as you are in battle.
I'll show you who's useless. Apollo! Don't you dare give up now. I know. Your Honor! I believe Mr. LaBelle's statements warrant a thorough cross-examination. After all, the true identity of the Amazing Ninetales is the cornerstone of this case.
You do have a point there. Please answer this court. Mr. LaBelle, is the defendant the Amazing Ninetales or not?
Wait, we're 2 hours in.
The amazing Ninetales true identity is not Mayor Tenma. The mayor would never admit to such outdoor nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tenma Taro right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetales Vale, just as their superstitions say. Talk about out of the pot and into the fire. At this rate, the mayor will be found guilty for sure.
Honestly speaking, if Mayor Damon Tenma is not the amazing Ninetales, I'm afraid I don't see how the defense has much of a case here.
And let's just leave it at that, shall we? We all know Alderman QB was the amazing Ninetales anyway. I mean, that's how Ninetales Vale made their comeback. The Alderman was so popular. There's gotta be a hole in that testimony somewhere. They both were. I mean, that is probably the Alderman, and not Mayor Tenma in these photos. But more than one person can wear a mask. I don't even know where to start. Since we don't have any proof that the mayor is the Ninetales, the amazing Ninetales, then we'll just have to get him to admit it himself. But if he admits it, LaBelle's going to expose the secret behind Tenmataro, whatever that means. So close, I know it! Oh, there is another hour to this case! Oh.
The defense may cross-examine the witness. Meh.
Amazing Ninetales' true identity. The amazing Ninetales' true identity is not Mayor Tenma. The mayor would never admit to such other nonsense. But if he did admit to such nonsense, I will expose the truth behind Tenma Taro right here and now. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetales Vale, just as the superstitions say. Okay, now that I know that I can just go through all those and then it's permanent of just like I can skip through all of them, makes it so... Hold it! This whole case only makes sense if the mayor is the amazing Ninetales. I know you used his mask to create the illusion of a locked room murder.
Silence!
Nothing more than idle speculation. You've no evidence now, have you?
Objection!
Mr. LaBelle knows this statue originally looked like. That means he had to be in the Fox chamber while it was still locked tight. Sorry, but I heard about the statue from Alderman QB. If you don't believe me, just ask him. Oh, but what's that? The Alderman's dead and I can speak ill of them? Oh. Looks like the joke's on you. Speaking of joke, why aren't you look like Joker anymore? Why is your hair blonde? Why isn't it green? My sweaty little friend. Hello? You mind if I wring his neck? Whoa, wait in line, 'cause I'm going first! Tempo. Anyway. Oh. Hold it! The only nonsense here in this court is you and your assertions! Such anger is terrible for the skin, you know? Beauty is like a flower that blooms forth from a serene heart. Excusez-moi.
There's a man world! Fuck you!
Pfiff! I wouldn't expect a wilted peasant like you to understand. Perhaps the fragrance will help the blossom within your bloom. Dike! That poisoning! You like that, didn't you? Enough jabbering about blossoms and whatnot. Get on with your testimony before I slice you into a bouquet of cut flowers.
Oh dear, please excuse-moi. As I was saying, the assertion of our wilted attorney here is utter nonsense.
Hold it!
You'd be arrested, wouldn't you? Yes, it's true. I would be sacrificed upon the altar of justice despite my innocence. But what a terrible loss that would be for the future of mankind's cosmetic needs. It is a tragedy that must be averted. Defend me if you understand this.
Silence!
The only terrible loss is the time wasted by your ceaseless yammering. If you would avert the tragedy awaiting you, and that vexing visage of yours then...
Yes, I know. Get on with my testimony. Anyhow, suffice to say, should the mayor admit to the defense's nonsense, I will make good on my threat and I will expose the truth.
Hold it!
And just how did you learn of the so-called truth behind Tenmataro?
Alderman Cutie told me all about it. The secret of the Forbidden Chamber and the truth behind Tenmataro, it's all a farce.
Why would you share secrets like that with... Why would he share secrets like that with you, Mr. LaBelle?
Because of the alderman's wife. I was looking after her while she was hospitalized. He appreciated it so much he shared the secrets with me.
Don't you mean moi?
Fuck you.
Wait. Threaten the alderman in addition to the mayor? Don't tell me that's how he learned how to open the Forbidden Chamber.
Needless to say, I'm not above revealing the truths behind Tenmataro. And that would bring ruin upon Ninetales, just as superstitions say.
Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Isn't that what the village superstitions say?
Exactly! Telling others what Tenmataro looks like would reveal the truth. That's why the suspicions were written down in the first place.
And ruin coming to the village if you free him. Is that a warning not to expose the truth?
Oh! Bingo! And the truth is Tenmataro is a great greed-inspired fortune. That's what the whole battle over Ninetales Vale is all about.
Tenmataro is a great fortune? Come to think of it.
Only it's the greatest get-rich-quick scheme in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there. Tourism! Merchandising! You know, the big bucks.
Telling the villagers that Tenmataro is a terrifying yokai is what has scared them away from the Forbidden Chamber and the treasure within. That's how the treasure has been kept secret all this time.
Oh! Well. It seems our attorney here has uncovered the truths that must not be revealed.
Mayor Turner looks like he wants to keep the truth hidden as much as I do.
Tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Tenmataro exists. That's why the secret must be protected.
As long as Tenmataro exists, huh? Mr. LaBelle, please add the statement to your testimony.
Tragedy is doomed to repeat itself as long as Tenmataro exists.
It was stolen long ago. That's the tragedy. There isn't money. Oh, right. I accidentally hit space instead of Q. How's the mayor supposed to admit his secret identity now? Well, we have to find a way to make him say it, or our entire case unravels. Must be a hole in Mr. LaBelle's testimony somewhere. That's a nice short one.
Hold it!
So, in other words, tragedy wouldn't occur at all if there were no Tenma Taro.
Yes, I suppose so. But that's wishful. Oh. This is Lebel? Yes. You don't say.
As long as Tenma Taro exists. How's the mayor supposed to admit his secret identity now? Oh, yeah, because you hit the fail state if you go loop around. I think I know what it is. You present the little statue.
Objection!
It's gone. It's been gone. Mr. LaBelle, what if Tenma Taro no longer existed? Revealing the truth would no longer be an issue, would it?
If Tenma Taro no longer existed. What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, apparently you haven't heard. Tenma Taro no longer exists. But I guess you didn't get to do a thorough search after the key was taken from you. Because when we searched the Forbidden Chamber, there wasn't any treasure there.
Really? Well, maybe you weren't looking in the right place.
Sorry, but I have proof that Tenma Taro no longer exists. Take a look at this figure.
Wait, what do we have here? Looks like some sort of creature.
We found this in the Forbidden Chamber. It's an Azuki Kozo figure.
I am so proud of you.
What?
Yes, that is how it's said. Azuki Kozo.
Cool. The great thief Azuki Kozo used to leave them at the scene of his crimes.
Are you suggesting that Tenma Taro has been stolen?
Yep. Phineas Filch's grandfather, a master thief, was the culprit.
And by that hideous moron, the caretaker's grandfather, no less? You! Ah! My beautiful golden Tenma Taro was...
The greed inspired by Tenma Taro can no longer bring ruin upon Ninetales Vale. Isn't that right, Mayor Tenma?
The root of tragedy would indeed seem to be gone. In fact, I recall the alderman revealing the secret to me on the day of our meeting. He must have been speaking of Tenma Taro, for he said to me the gold ingot was gone.
The gold ingot? You mean the treasure that is Tenma Taro's true form?
Recall, if you will, the scroll in the Forbidden Chamber. Tenma Taro is a yellowish object shown there. A giant gold ingot that my nomadic ancestors bestowed upon Ninetales Vale.
Yeah, that is like his elder.
In return for that gold, my ancestor did receive from Ninetales Vale land that would become Tenma Town. But drive the villagers mad with greed did that great fortune. Bitter was their greed-fueled battle. It was as if they were possessed. My ancestors' gold became as a curse upon their village, a curse of ruin. Thus, it was that the yokai Tenma Taro came to be.
So, Tenma Taro and the village superstitions were merely fairy tales to scare people away.
Humph. Fairy tale or not, Tenma Taro made quite the mess of things. Yes, indeed. For there is no greater monster than a mortal man's lust for gold.
Well, you know what they say. The love of money is the root of all evil.
My ancestors did bring a terrible thing here to Ninetales Vale. A thing so terrible that Tenmataro, a monster just as terrible, had to be created to keep it a secret. Yet, we have naught but love for the little village, to which we owe our very existence. Tenma Town would never seek to take over Ninetales Vale in a merger. Oh my! That was quite a shocking lesson in history.
Mr. Mayor, now that we know Tenma Taro no longer exists, are you ready to admit your secret? Are you the amazing Ninetales?
No! Do not do it! Please, no! Be gone, you demented demon! Ahem. Now, where was I? The Golden Lord of Yokai, the amazing Ninetales, is indeed me! Ha ha ha! Ha ha!
Ah. And that means Jinxie!
Yes?
The man wearing the mayor's clothes, who you saw collapse in the Fox Chamber. Was he wearing the amazing Ninetales mask?
Uh-huh. That's what made me think it was Papa. He said he was going to reveal his secret identity to Alderman QB that day. So it really wasn't Papa I saw there, was it?
It was Florent's idea from the start. He advised me to reveal my secret identity to the alderman.
Yeesh. Rube Goldberg machines have less elaborate setups than LaBelle's scheme.
You may rest easy now, little Jinxie. That monster's deception is fraught.
The true facts behind this case have finally come to light. Mayor Tenma did not kill Alderman QB, but Florent LaBelle did.
How dare you pass it? No!
Is that...
Silence!
Okay, good. There's no case, because we haven't had a breakdown yet.
Justice, Dono. You should at least have a real blade in your hands if you desire to cross swords with me. Or have you mistaken this battlefield for a training ground?
Eh? What's this guy want now?
Evidence is like a razor-sharp blade that cuts through bone as if it were warm butter. Don't just say butter. You must add warm. But you have only blind guesses, a dull blade incapable of cutting even cake.
He has you there, Mr. Justice Dono.
Do not say it like that!
I'm sorry. After all, evidence is everything in a court of law. You see the big scales behind me? You have to put them all on it.
But we can't even reach there. Is that right?
Let's see some evidence.
Of course, a perfect being like me wouldn't leave any incriminating evidence behind.
This is the final battle. Just as a samurai must live and die by the sword. You will live or die by the evidence you hold. My swift blade of judgment awaits. Now present your conclusive evidence. Or don't you have any?
Oh, crud. Do I have anything conclusive? Of course I do. Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. You do? Of course! It's just the conclusive evidence we need, too! I'm going to finally prove Mayor Tenma innocent. Here comes justice. Whoa. Let's review the facts. Why are we in Danganronpa now? The most damning evidence against the mayor was the crime scene itself. The mayor and the victim were the only two people who were found in the room. Also, we all thought the alderman was killed because he was the Amazing Ninetales. But as we know now, of course, we were way off. The Amazing Ninetales is really Mayor Damon Tenma. That's why when his daughter Jinxie saw the Amazing Ninetales collapsed at the scene, she mistook him for her father. Those are the facts as we have revealed. However, Mr. LaBelle asserts that he did not leave any evidence at the scene of the crime. But he didn't say anything about evidence outside the crime scene. Maybe he isn't as clever as he thinks he is. Does any of the evidence found outside the crime scene prove any clues? I mean, we haven't used the fact that no one else can have the hand cream. No, that's not it. The hand cream had Phineas Filch's prints on it. Because Filch had stolen it from LaBelle. It's not going to help us nab the real killer, though. Maybe I should study the evidence again. A clue inside the mask. Oh, I know. The Amazing Ninetales mask. It was found washed up along the river. What sort of clue does the mask hold? Oh! That would be an interesting character. A person who's an albino, but they wear so much makeup that their skin can't possibly be seen by the light. And then they dye their hair to look normal. The mask. Who does it belong to? It's LaBelle's. Oh, right. That hair is Florent LaBelle's. Yes. Now that's what I call conclusive evidence.
Mr. Justice, what happened?
What do you mean?
Did you not see the lasers? The flying words?
You saw that too?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Oh, you know, it's not going to show up in the third case because I'm going to be disappeared.
What are you on about?
There's going to be a bomb.
There's a what? Do you have any conclusive evidence to present to the court?
Of course I do. Observe this mask, if you will.
That mask, how is that conclusive evidence?
It's not the mask itself, but the white hair inside it. Originally, we thought it belonged to Alderman Rex Cuby.
Yes, but the Amazing Ninetales, as we know now, is Mayor Tenma, so...
That is correct. So the question is, whose hair could this be? And the answer to that is the last person to have worn it before it was discarded. That would be you, Mr. Florent LaBelle.
What the hell are you I never had hideous white hair like that!
Silence!
Oh, he thinks it's hideous. We could have put something up there. Like, there could have been a lead up there of where he constantly says, "Oh, the ultimate has no class. He looks all drab in his tightly fitted suit. And that white hair, it's so hideous. Oh, I can't stand to look at the alderman." You could have put that somewhere.
It would appear that your coup de grace failed to hit its mark. This freakish fop is not the white-haired type, because he's busy being one ludicrously garish color or another.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Blackwell. It's you who has made a fatal error.
What?
Remember where this mask was found? Washed up by the side of the river. with that in mind, this last piece of evidence will solve all the remaining riddles. I'm not even gonna save for this.
Take that!
We never use this piece.
That's it! No! No? What is that?
This is Mr. LaBelle's own private brand of hair color. It washes out with just water. The court will also recall that the amazing Ninetails mask washed up along the shore of the village river with white hair inside.
What's this? Are you saying that breeding peacock's hair color is...
That's exactly what I'm saying. Mr. LaBelle's hair color is a freakish work of fiction. Is a freaky work of fiction. But that's thanks to the river flowing through Ninetails Vale. We now have a real-life expose.
No!
The white hair in this mask is conclusive evidence proving you're the real killer. A DNA test is all we need to do to prove it. And we both know we'll get a match. Admit it! Florent LaBelle, you were the one who killed Alderman Cubey. Break down, break down, break down!
You... Oh, a peasant. How dare you! My beauty! Hello, this is LaBelle. Well, the project is off. This is LaBelle. The sponsor have pulled out. LaBelle speaking. I am filed. You mean I'm no longer Mayor Denver's aside? Hello, this is LaBelle. What? There is a stratospheric damage claim against me? $100 million?
Oh, stratospheric! He punched a hole in the ozone layer.
I'm finished! What's up? Stick a fork in me. I'm done. This is preposterous. Simon Blackwell defeated? Order! Order! Order in the court!
Breakdowns are fun.
Well, this is quite the unexpected outcome. I must hand it to you, Mr. Justice. Don't know. I heard that. No, I'm sorry. You really turned this case on its head. Just like that other lawyer, Phoenix Wright.
Wait, that was a compliment, right? But he mentioned Phoenix. And wait a minute! I had an entire ass game before this with you as the judge!
I don't remember it. It wasn't in 3D. Prosecutor Blackwell, what have you done with Florent LaBelle?
The defaced man has withered like a flower without water. One of the officers is currently tending to him with a sprinkler.
Wouldn't that just wash even more of his makeup off?
Allow me to explain the actions of the guilty party in detail. The motive, of course, was to steal the gold ingot known as Tenma Taro. However, few are allowed into the manor due to its cultural ties to Ninetails Vale. LaBelle set in motion plans to gain access to the manor, and the gold within via the merger. But the efforts of the amazing Ninetails saw those plans come to a halt. And thus, LaBelle murdered the alderman and attempted to pin the blame on Mayor Tenma.
I see.
But I still can't comprehend. What I still can't comprehend is why would he go after the gold in the first place? Mr. LaBelle doesn't look like someone who is in need of financial aid. LaBelle hid his past well, much like he hid his beauty with makeup. He's mired in debt. Debt due to pouring money into a brand only he could love. Which is why he sought the gold with such voracity.
Too bad for him. Someone else has gotten to it first anyway.
I see. Very well then. I believe it's time to declare a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Damon Tenma, not guilty. There's the confetti. We know Gumshoe's alive somewhere.
Yeah.
I hated this case.
I'm speaking as Blackwell, not me. This was an interesting case, and I don't like the Athena minigame. That's not fun. No, not fun at all.
Court is adjourned.
Whack. April 19th, 1:23 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was some seriously good lawyering, Apollo. Even I didn't see that coming. Just got lucky, I guess. You banished Tenmataro from Ninetails Vale like you were some kind of exorcist. There's still one thing I don't understand. How come Mr. LaBelle didn't kill Mayor Tenma, too? He could have set it up so the mayor murdered the alderman, then died from a counterattack. So that would have removed at least one possibility. One possible fly from the anointment. What? I was wondering about that, too. But I have a hunch LaBelle was biding his time. He was planning on exposing the amazing Ninetails' true identity himself. Huh? But why? Because the mayor was the amazing Ninetails. Had LaBelle succeeded in framing Mayor Tenma for the alderman's murder, the wrestler's popularity would have plummeted once his identity was revealed. Oh, I get it. If the amazing Ninetails was just killed, he'd die a hero. But if he was proven a villain, his fans would abandon him, making the merger that much easier. Right, which is me. Then, when the merger was complete and everything cooled down, he'd be able to search the Forbidden Chamber at his leisure. What an insanely intricate plot!
A most excellent job clearing my name. A feat worthy of the Demon Lord's approval.
Why are you acting like Tenmataro again?
Let this be of no concern to you.
How could it not concern me?
Tenmataro, it's gone!
Jinxie. Seems like ages since I've laid eyes on you.
Papa, you're finally back!
Yes. It would seem Tenmataro is no match for you.
I'm not scared of that silly yokai anymore.
Your father's a free man now, Jinxie. Isn't that great?
Thank you for all you've done. I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend Trucy. Seeing you guys in action, it made me feel like I didn't have to be afraid anymore.
Wait, is Jinxie actually smiling?
No, that's just her breathing. This is all thanks to you two. Too bad the amazing Ninetails will have to retire, though.
Aw, how come?
Once everyone hears I'm the amazing Ninetails, my fan base will nosedive. After all, I'm not the most popular of people. Another reason for my secret identity. I don't see how I could possibly continue.
I think
You've misjudged yourself. Take a look outside.
Say, now that you mention it, what's all that noise out there?
A big crowd gathered outside the courthouse once the news broke. Seems like they want to get a glimpse of Mayor Damon Tenma, the man behind the mask. And to root for your return to the wrestling ring.
Rooting? For me? But I thought I was nothing more than a malefactor in their eyes.
The only one who really matters is Jinxie. Show her how cool you really are!
Yeah, you're the coolest when you're out there fighting in the ring, Papa.
Jinxie.
Here. I think you'll be needing this. Is it the mask? I feel like it's the mask.
Take that!
Take it!
Thank you. Now, if you would excuse me. I don't want to keep my fans waiting!
Holy! He had that under?
Ninetales Vale forever!
Okay, Sam. Okay, Sam. I keep forgetting it's Sam doing like all the voices. I sure hope they can settle the problems between Tenma Town and Ninetales Vale. Me too. Just as the landscapers come by. I'm sure they'll be fine. After all, the blackmailer slash killer is behind bars, and the merger is no longer an issue. Plus, the Amazing Ninetales is obviously still ahead, and I suspect Ninetales Vale will be too. And it's all because we believed in our client, just like you said. Okay, people. Now that we've got that one in the bag, let's go get something to eat. I am starving. Sounds good, and a bit scary. I've been so nervous I haven't eaten since yesterday. Better keep eating, Apollo, otherwise you're gonna stay that shorty. Or you might have to start looking up at me. Huh? I'm definitely past my growth phase. And you should be about past yours, too. Are you kidding me? I'm just getting started. Ready or not, it's face stuffing time. Keep eating like that, and the only direction you'll grow is sideways. Very funny. But I've got a hollow leg. I can eat as much as I want without gaining an ounce. Really? Wow, I can't wait to see that. Calories? Ha! Just let me at them. Try to stick them to me. Alright. Alrighty. You too. Let's get going before the old man closes shop. Eldon's Noodles isn't an all-night stand, you know. I'm with Mr. Wright. Let's go. I've been waiting to have a bowl from there ever since Mr. Wright told me about them. Well, what are we waiting for? The noodles are on me today, so I expect some serious eating from you two. Yay! Thanks, boss. I won't let you down. Athena has no idea what she's getting into. Mr. Eldon's noodles are so hot and salty, 2 bowls would kill a man. That was our first case together, and it felt like nothing could bring us down after that. The dark age of the law seemed so distant, so irrelevant to our small, cozy office. But little did I know that it had been lurking all along, right there, behind us. The first time it made itself known was during the murder at the Miss Legal Agency. That case would mark the twilight before the dark, cold night that was to come.
End.
Yeah! Save. Return to menu. Return to title. Okay. That the wrap up was really good on that case. I was not expecting the twist of who the Ninetales was, and it makes all the sense when you put it into place. And the twists and turns didn't really feel contrived. Of just like, oh, why did this weird thing happen? So, I don't have many specific complaints of it. And so, that's the end of the stream. I will be back here with the third case next week, Monday, noon. And hey, the stream didn't die this time. At least on my end. So, yay. It really was just Tenmataro's curse on those last two things. End